You folks that listen to me every day know that I love having the experts on here to talk personnel so I can get educated on the rosters each and every day here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. It's time to talk some Florida State. We got a Logan Robinson on the line from Nole Game Day to talk up the Noles. Logan, what's going on?
We're 1 week away from spring practice, Mark. Life feels better. We see baseball on TV. There's some basketball going on, but Florida State desperately needs some football in Tallahassee and spring football more than anything because there wasn't any last year. So we're getting close. I'm definitely excited to talk about this group that we're about to jump into.
Yeah, we're going to break down the running backs. Would ask everyone to hit the like button. If you enjoy the content, then smash that like button and share the videos out there on social media because not everyone knows that we're here talking college football and talking Seminoles just about every day. I got to say, in looking at the running backs, a lot of this obviously has to do, when you look at stats, to do with the offensive line performance, which has not been what it should be. And we'll dive into the offensive line at a later date. But, man, when I look at Lawrence Toefilly, based on what I watched just in the games, plus I put that together with the stat sheet, and I know it's only 37 attempts, but man, that 9.6 yards per carry really jumps out.
It does, and that's one guy that I think I'm most excited for, to have a spring ball, have a spring camp to work with, get adjusted, get some more meat on him. One of the things I think hindered him quite a bit, as you know, can't give him too much crap. He was a true freshman coming in and playing in a Power 5 conference, but the thing that was hindering him was really trying to stay fully healthy. He didn't have any major injuries going on throughout the season, but I think he got dinged up quite a bit. He's a smaller guy. This spring is going to be big for him, and I think he's really going to compete very well with Json Corbin here in about a week on trying to get some starting spots in some of these games, because this group as a whole is going to compete very well. There's a lot of talent back there, but I think as an overall back, Lawrence Toefilly has the highest ceiling, and he's got a ways to go. And I think he has a bright future ahead as a career, because we've seen a lot of really good running backs come out of Tallahassee the last 10 years or so, and they've made very well for themselves in the NFL. And I think this is going to be the next one right here with Lawrence Toefilly, if he's able to make that next step, stay healthy, put some meat on him so he can take some hits, because he's got a bright future, I think, in Garnet and Gold.
Logan, we got Ladamian Webb, who's moved on. He was pretty productive, 5.3 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. So he's gone, but the rest of the stable's pretty well much intact when you talk about Json Corbin, who was the transfer coming in from Texas A&M. How do you like the rest of the room here?
Starting off, I think Json Corbin is going to be heading into the spring as a starting guy. Like I said about Toefilly, those two are going to go 1-2. They're going to compete 1A, 1B. They're going to go at it. So these two are going to be your prominent guys to start off. Json, I think, finished off the season very solid. I think he had a lot of rust to get off of him to start off the season after coming off of an injury. He just transferred from Texas A&M. He had to get the rust off of him, and it took a good amount of games, but the way that he finished off the season, definitely against Duke, I thought he played as a different back than what he did in the first half of the season last year, where I think there's a lot of excitement to look forward to for him, definitely with having a full spring. And then you jump down, who Jakai Douglas was also a redshirt freshman, came in last year, was able to really compete as a true freshman. He was able to compete and get a lot of playing time. I liked how Norvell used him, could put him out in the slot, put him back there in the backfield, give him a pitch off, and he's got a lot of speed too. And he's going to have some potential here to get a lot of playing time heading into his second year. And then one person that we haven't seen yet is Corey Wren, who a lot of people were expecting to see him get some playing time, most certainly, and kickoff return, maybe punt too. But because of him being one of the fastest recruits in his class and track coming in, Florida State, I think, was really looking forward to having him get some playing time early. Didn't happen. He was dealing with a hip flexor, and those injuries take a good while to come back from recovery-wise. He's a guy right now that is, from what I've been told, is 100% ready for liftoff starting Tuesday, which I know a lot of people are excited about him being out there on the field. And then some guys here that have some potential to get some PT is Deontay Sheffield and Treshawn Ward. Speaking of Treshawn Ward, I think I mentioned him on our Mark Rogers show. a couple weeks ago, but he's been having a great tour of duty right now. A lot of people think has the talent to be the best in the running back room. There's just some things hindering him getting down the playbook and all that kind of stuff and that nature. But we've seen it too. We've seen him in the bowl game against Arizona State. We saw a little bit, I think, in the Duke game. We've seen those flashes of talent. He's a guy as a walk-on that may have some potential to surprise some people, because they say some teammates said, extremely talented. Just from what I've been told, there's just some things hindering him and get that playbook down and whatnot. So this whole room, I think, is what might be most excited for heading into spring camp. This is a loaded room, and as we know, Mike Norvell likes using running backs. And then talking about DJ Williams too, this last guy, he's a guy that comes from Auburn. Like we talked about earlier, you lose Ladamian Webb, but what do you do right after that? Boom, Norvell's good at doing. He's able to go find plan B, C, and D. He goes and grabs a guy from Auburn with DJ Williams. He's got a little bit of experience. I think one of his biggest games was against LSU, and he went for 131 yards. I think I had a 70-yard run, if I'm correct. Has some speed on him. More bulky guy than I think in this group right now at Florida State in that running back room. But he's got some potential, most certainly, to get playing time very early on in this group between Toefilly, Corbin, and himself with Williams. This whole group is gonna be fun to watch.
So that 130-yard game you're alluding to wasn't this past season. That was against the national champions for that year. That LSU team, 13 carries for $130. Nothing wrong with that. A couple catches out of the backfield. So he had a 151 total yardage day against LSU on the road. So that's nice.
Yep, a guy hard to tackle. He likes taking the hits on. And the fun, we've been talking about this whole time, but the fun thing about this running back room is, well, how Norvell is going to use him. Like, where do you want to use this kind of guy? And this is where the spring is going to tell you, because I think there's a lot of guys with different kind of abilities, most certainly. You just got to figure out where they fit the best. And this is going to be huge the next couple of months and spring camp to figure that out. Where does DJ Williams go in this offense? And it seems like they know now. They kind of have a feeling of where they want to put him, but you got to wait until we get into some camp sessions here in about a week.
Couple nice games for DJ this past season against Arkansas and Tennessee as well. 599 total yards in his first 2 years there at Auburn, 4.9 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns.